Welcome to our evening meditation. The hot weather, but with a little bit of rain to temper it. And some thoughts tonight on the separation or the lack of separation between things. Richard Rohr talks about having the language or growing up with the language of separation between natural and supernatural, or sacred and profane, good things and bad things. But he says Jesus overcame that distinction by putting the sacred and the profane together. He united the spiritual and the material, the divine and the human, together in himself. So once we encounter and understand this Christ mystery, we know there's only one reality. We don't divide the world into natural and supernatural. It's all supernatural. It's all sacred. So with that thought of lack of separation, let's just bring ourselves to this point of connection, feeling where we're connected to the ground, to the cushion, and up through our heads maybe to the atmosphere around us, that air and atmosphere that stretches up to the edge of space, and the ground beneath us stretching down into the depths of the earth. And we're connecting these elements. So as you relax, being alert and upright if you can, resting your hands comfortably, eyes lowered or closed or looking at the image on the screen. We take 2 deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Really feel yourself, sense that your lungs are filling. And try and hold after the in-breath. And then as you expel, really emptying the lungs. Feeling the breath. Hearing the breath. Feel it, hear it entering through the nose and then escaping through the mouth. As you continue with that deeper, longer breathing, bring your attention to the rest of your body. Notice the weight of your body on the chair or sofa. Your feet resting on the ground. Maybe imagine these points of contact relaxing and melting towards the earth. The earth that's supporting us and we're melting into and towards it. All of us held and upheld by that gravitational pull and the solidity of the earth. You continue to breathe. Scan the heart and the mind. What's the weather like inside? What are you feeling right now? Are there any thoughts taking hold? As we let go of things done and things yet to do. Being your own observer of your thoughts and even of your emotions, as we practiced last week. Imagining them as a leaf or feather, settling or floating away. Or as last week, from the depths of the sea, looking upwards to the ripples on the surface, looking up from our heart centre, where it's still and calm. And so continuing that, some thoughts around the sacred and the connectedness of all things. Richard Rohr says again, we don't have to go to sacred places to pray or wait for holy days for good things to happen. We can pray always. And everything that happens is potentially sacred if we allow it to be. Once we can accept that God is in all circumstances, and that God can and will use even bad situations for good, then everything becomes an occasion for good and an occasion for God. Our task is to find the good, the true, the beautiful in everything, even and most especially in the problematic. The bad is never strong enough to counteract the good. And we can learn this through some form of contemplative practice that we're committing to each Monday, for instance. We learn to trust our true self, our heart centre, over all the passing ripples and waves of emotions and obsessive thinking. Once we deepen contact with our strong and loving true self, the indwelling spirit, we are no longer pulled to and fro with every passing feeling. This is the peace that Jesus promised, a peace that nothing else can give. Salt of the Sound, whose music we'll play this evening, have a track. We're not going to play it tonight, we'll play it another time. Deep Peace. They say Deep Peace is a song about finding God in the unexpected places. We often search for God in the sacred and assume he dwells among the steeples, hymns and rituals, but more often than not, he shows up in the everyday ordinary. The writer James Finley, one of Richard Rohr's colleagues, talks of a experience he had. He says, I began to realize that what we tend to think of as the air is actually God. In a subtle, interior way, I sensed that I was walking back and forth in the atmospheric, all-encompassing presence of God, who was sustaining me breath by breath. The most intimate depth of this moment was a simple awareness that God, sustaining my life breath by breath, knew me through and through as mercy within mercy within mercy. As we bring our attention back to our breath, this is Salt of the Sound, and where you are, bringing our focus back to the breath. Finley said that God, who was sustaining my life breath by breath, knew me through and through as mercy within mercy within mercy. And taking that idea of mercy or compassion, just a little exercise to take us to our longer silence. A practice that strengthens our compassion for ourselves, one another, and the world. Here we draw on another tradition, the Hindu tradition, and a blessing, Namaste, which says that when I am in that place of the divine in me, and you are in that place of the divine in you, there is only one of us. And so a practice of loving kindness. I invite you just to picture in your mind's eye someone for whom you feel deep love and closeness. Visualizing this person as we say, may you be happy. May you be blessed. May you be free and peaceful. May you be ever loved. May you be ever loving. May you be happy. May you be blessed. May you be free and peaceful. May you be ever loved. May you be always loving. And the next step is to repeat the exercise, but picturing someone you barely know. Someone you might be aware of, but you don't have a close relationship with them. Maybe someone you've never met. Someone in the news maybe. But it could be somebody from a group or church that you've just never spoken to. May you be happy. May you be blessed. May you be free and peaceful. May you be ever loved. May you be ever loving. Visualizing this other person and praying for them as sincerely as you did the first person. And this is just one way that we can work towards breaking down that separation between the spiritual and the secular. Stopping the desecration, the desecration of life, to restore both the religious and the secular. Because everything we do can be truly holy, whether business, politics, education, even in our own families. Brian McLaren says, if we don't learn to reconsecrate everything as holy and spiritual, we will desecrate everything. And so that prayer of loving kindness, of compassion, the third step, so much more difficult, is to pray those words for a person from whom you're feeling alienated, hurt, resentful. So as we move to silence, you might want to try that. Or simply to imagine the sacredness of all things, or use it to practice your own self-awareness, observing your thoughts as a watcher from a distance, finding that deep peace. And so coming out of our silence, just taking another deep breath, refocusing our senses on where we are and our connections, and a final prayer, using that prayer of loving kindness or compassion, which finally we direct to ourselves. May I be happy. May I be blessed. May I be free and peaceful. May I be ever loved. May I be always loving. So we reconnect, making all things sacred, those we love, those we struggle with, and ourselves. Amen.